Soca train. Well, you forgive me, I started just now, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't, on good conscience, I just couldn't do it. Welcome to episode 196 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. If you're here from the beginning, salute. If you're here from the beginning, salute. It's easy to reach and listen to 196 and nothing. So it's good to have you on board. Let me tell you something, right? When the first song was sung by Gypsy, let me do the right thing. People say, I don't say, the first original soca train was by Gypsy. The next original soca train was by Maximus the Gladiator, Magadan, Edgel. What was his name now? MX Prime, you know what I mean? Salute. Which one better? We need a which one better episode, you know, where I could do the remake of the song and the original song and what song sample which song and all. You tell me which one better. I wonder if people go only stick within the era. Like, that Gypsy really sweet. But to me, the Maximus is hit different. But maybe that's because of when I born and I was a fan of Maximus then at the time and Gypsy would be a older fella to me and all them things. But anyway, we come to talk about serious business this week, right? Number one, Happy Republic, Happy Independence. Did you all do patriotic things? Was you in red, white, and black? Did you represent for the land of your birth and so on over the last few weeks or month or so between independence and republic? All you do, all you do. I went early in the morning and take a sweat. And you know, these days when you sweat, you have to take a imbibe after, right, man? Bring beers. My days of beers after sweat, I think they are over because I cannot recover. Couple of beers and my whole next day is crashed. I see the white oak and I say, all right, leave that alone because if you do that, your week crash. But it's the beers and everything. I can't do it again. And I just wanted to be known that this is a short week in Trinidad and Tobago. If you didn't know, Tuesday was Republic Day. Tuesday is typically the day that I put this podcast out. But I am a Trini too, and when it is short weeks, we don't really work. We don't really to work. When it's a short week, school is be closed on the Monday and nobody don't really go. So who is me? I just like everybody else. So on a short week going forward, right? Anytime you see a short week, it's a random draw for which day the episode will come out. It's a random draw. Who knows what's going to happen? But again, when I take too long to record and take too long to put an episode, some things just be looking like it's so like the first thing I see on my list here is DL Singh getting robbed, right? Don't laugh at that. That ain't nothing funny to laugh at, right? So if you was on that rock, you would not see DL Singh in a video from Bingy Corner. If you know Bingy Corner is right up the hill in St. Joseph, right? Popular open spot. And all we see is a little clip where Terrence DL Singh seemed to be on the phone and basically saying, Minister, or somebody called him apparently. And he said, Minister, I just want to let you know that I just got robbed my gold beera by Bingy Corner. I want to salute to the robbers, right? I want to salute to the robbers for being equal opportunity robbers, because I don't know if they have a minister in this country who is more popular in face than Terrence DL Singh. Remember, Terrence DL Singh was on TV every day. He had the best campaign ever. Surprising that everybody who want to enter the political Gael seems to run to St. Joseph first, right? If you remember, we had to talk about Gary Griffith later in this episode, but Gary Griffith says St. Joseph is where he running, right? And you want to run against the man who had to be one of the most popular politicians in the country. So I don't know if it is robbers or thieves or the criminal element running up on the Alsing and taking a beera, man, they don't know. I also don't know, like I see a lot of people, salute my boy, Sundar Singh, salute you. I've older Sundar Singh, Darren, call man, tell me, he say, boy, listen, you really believe that story about the Alsing getting robbed? As a gullible fella, you know, I believe what I see on camera, right? I believe what I see on camera. But he was quick to point out to me that the phone looked like it off, you know, again, black screen. As a man is using iPhone, and me know them Android and them is working. But to me, when you're talking on your phone and you put it by your ears, it doesn't automatically go black. I don't know. Then somebody else say, they must know the Alsing face. And I started to say, well, maybe, you know, that's probably true. Even if you're going to rub the Alsing. Then I see, or even if you're going to rub somebody and you realize it's the Alsing, you might pull out of that. Then somebody say, boy, by Bingy Corner in the middle of the day where there's so much people you go run out for a beera is like, you know what I mean? Maybe not worth it. And then somebody else tell my boy security detail that ministers, the thing is, I'm not sure, right, that ministers, or to me, I know the prime minister is rolled with car in front and car behind. What is called that? A convoy, or entourage, whatever you call it, right? He have army and police rolling with him every day. I don't think that ministers roll in that kind of way. But I think the minister at least have a driver, if not security. And that would be a brave move if the driver, right? Is the minister security armed? Like, are they driver like the getaway driver in them movies we see? Or is it that they is just driver and when them see a man pull a gun, them getting low too? But I find it strange and people speculating as to who he called. Like, my first thought was that he had to call earlier. But he called him Minister of National Security. And the truth is, whether we let me assume for now, be gullible like me and assume that thing is real, right? I saw a lot of people commenting online, and it was my first thought. All right, now all was start to take crime seriously. And you know, I don't even believe that to extent, because the truth about it is these fellas doing so good that one beera, them go get back that, you know what I mean? But the luxury that these fellas have, and this is part of the hubris of politics in Trinidad and Tobago, and politics in general, the luxury that you have to be robbed of something. Nothing happened to you. Nothing. When I say nothing happened to you, nothing happened to you physically. Nobody ain't hit you. They ain't beat you. They ain't tie you up and take all your money. They ain't interfere with your children and your wife and they ain't kick in your front door and all them kind of thing, right? None of those things happen to you. You come and put that gunpoint. I don't want to minimize that because that's a traumatic experience I would never want to go through. But I've been through it before. Not at gunpoint, but from the time you tell me I robbed. You understand? As a man though, me fighting nobody, me looking for a man come and tell me, hey, what's going on? You're getting robbed. I say, seriously? Robbed of what? He say, your chain. I say, no problem. I take off my chain. I didn't want to burst it. I take off my chain and I hand him. I not so... You ain't gonna mess up my little face and my... I'm not going through all that. So you get held at gunpoint or... It had to be a snatch and grab if you're the minister because by being corner that already day, people that say, boy, that the minister, held boy. This is still Trinidad. But assuming that is true, you went through this, what would be, unfortunately, a benign experience compared to some of the things that people going through with crime in Trinidad and Tobago. But you have the luxury of picking up the phone to call the minister. I'm sure after that you get called from Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Minister of Housing. Every minister must call you. Earl must be call you. I see man getting an award and things. Stephen Williams must be call you and Snaggs and Burrows must be call you to find out about all this beer and thing. According to the comments, which I also believe, you probably get her back by now. You know what I mean? And it's just a reflection of our society, the who knows who and all them things. And it is easy. The hubris of politicians is that it's easy for him to walk away with the feeling like, great, we're doing something about crime. Look how easy I get back my bureau. Look how quick we were able to respond to this situation. And I'm happy that enough time elapsed because I thought he was going to come out and say that we on top of things and we think I'm moving. If he say that, that's going to aggravate people even more because if I lost my bureau, I feel like me and no hope. So I have a little special song to play for Terrence. Well, you could think it's for Terrence D.L. Singh or you could think something else. But this song just fit good in this place to me. So whom it may concern, right? So whom it may concern. But present well wishes to everyone involved and so on. I'm so sorry to hear you had to go through that experience. And you know, what burned me the most is where crime reach, you know what I mean? Look at where crime reach now, you know what I mean? Some of these fellas, you know what I mean? The fellas are on a different level. What you do over the week, what you do over all your holiday, one of the things that I wanted to highlight over this holiday, right, which salute to my mama, who is a whole masquerader, you know what I mean? She for these streets, you know, she out there on the road and them kind of thing. And this is the kind of thing where she tell me this week, she say after one time is our next, because this is exactly the kind of thing that she would have never missed, right? I'm reading from the Guardian here about Invaders Steel Orchestra. If you didn't know, on Republic Morning, Invaders J'ouvert starting to become, well, I shouldn't say starting to become, it's been one of the big events around that time for a long time. And you're starting to see more and more people partaking in it. If you look from the socials, for instance, you're starting to see where Invaders J'ouvert is a vibe, especially for people who, not the young 20-somethings and them kind of thing, but you see the people who in their 30s and mid-30s, I think you're starting to see downward stretch in terms of age of Invaders J'ouvert. So let me read this, right? It said the year was 1937. The breadfruit tree at Manatee Family Home on Tragedy Road opposite the Queen's Park Oval Sporting Ground was the meeting place for an unusual group of musicians. Francis Peacock Wickham, Kelvin Dove, Conrad Coco Hunt, Irvin Taylor, Vernon Birdie Manette, and Milton Ossie Manette were the founding members who talked about their own band of steel drums. They could have been described as a gang, but the neighborhood boys were going to focus on music, so they collected discarded paint cans, biscuit tins, and other empty metal containers to be used as instruments. They decided to call themselves Oval Boys after their first panyard located under the stands of the Queen's Park Savannah. Stanley Hunt was the first captain of the band. Later, the band was led by Ellie Manette. The Oval Boys changed their name in the 1940s to Invaders after seeing the war movie The Invaders. Invaders' permanent home was moved to under the breadfruit tree at 147 Tragedy Road, where the band resides to this day. If you know Invaders, Steel Pan, close to 96.1, right opposite the Oval, right? You're supposed to know Invaders, Steel Pan. Through experimentation with materials available on the street, they started to bridge the gap between the earlier rhythmic beat of the tambu bamboo and the harmonies would soon emanate from the steel pan. Those were days of rivalry and excitement. The rivalry between the bands of Laventil and John John in East Port of Spain and those in Woodbrook and the West often led to violent clashes. During the 1940s, Invaders was one of the most feared steel bands on the road. The sight of the battle flag was enough to frighten the faint-hearted. They would come from Woodbrook, so there's a gang it's in fact a gang. They would come from Woodbrook with a crowd of people accompanying them. Everyone would shout, "Invaders, boy, invaders." That was the band to beat. Lord Blakey, Carlton Joseph's Calypso steel band clash documented a confrontation between Invaders and Tokyo band from the East Dry River. In those days, Ellie Manette was a creative force, designing and tuning the pans, for which he earned the title Father of Modern Steel Drum. His job in an iron foundry gave him a special feel and skill for steel and other metals. Manette experimented with the 50-gallon oil drums in the place of biscuit tins. He sank the plane surface downward into a concave shape instead of the convex shape used at the time. He went on to create 6 of the 9 instruments in the steel drum family. He also discovered through trial and error the uniqueness of the note blend on each pan. And that sweetness of the music could be brought out with sticks wrapped with rubber. Invaders' growth and change were due in part to its Woodbrook location, where Beryl McBurney's Little Carib Theatre was established in 1948 with the Invaders as a resident steel band. It may have been a factor in the 1960s when Shell Oil Company became one of the first steel band sponsors. In 1960, they were the first to record, and they did it again in 1962. Ray Holman, Ray's Saga was one of the first recorded songs. Shell later changed its name to Trintok. Only remember Trintok. And then Petrotrin retaining sponsorship until 1998. From 1999 to 2007, Invaders was sponsored by BW and Caribbean Airlines from 2007 to 2018. On 15th of January 2018, the band was sponsored once again by Shell Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Invaders produced many fine panists and tuners who add to the musical legacy created by the founders. The youngest Manette brother, Vernon Bernie Manette, was tuner and captain for 25 years, maintaining the Invaders' reputation for sweet pan. Ray Holman, the prolific composer and arranger, started with Invaders when he was only 13 years old. His work with pan arrangers gives him a unique position in pan history. Spawned from Alexander Ragtime Band and Oval Boys, Invaders produced many other bands. Among them were Saigon, Green Eyes, Gale Stars, Tropitones, Metronomes, Troubadours, Dixie Stars, Sombreros, Starlift, Girls, Pat, and Third World. The source of this information, other than the Trinidad Express, of course, who's been so kind to publish an article like this. Source of the information. Dr. Kim Johnson, The Illustrated Story of Pan, First Edition, 2011, Angela Smith, Steel Drums and Steel Bands, 2012. Salute to them two authors and salute to them for documenting some of this. You know, when I am not the greatest Pan man, the issue is that I don't know Pan in the same way that I know Calypso and can remember some of these things off the top. And I know Pan people and documentation and things. Here's how to get these things right. And it make me realize, in looking up this, right? It make me realize that if I like to complain about Calypso and finding information about who arranged song and who sings song and where it come from and the history behind some songs, you can't really make that complaint about Pan in the same way. You know, Pan is documented in a different way to the rest of the culture. I think it's Pan people themselves. Pan people might be naturally historians. You talk to the average person who into Pan, they can tell you who win in which year and who comes second and who was arranging for who and who get which frontline player from which band and all them kind of thing. They're good, you know, they're on point to the thing. So salute, and I just wanted to take a moment to recognize Invaders J'ouvert as it continues to popularize, especially among the younger groups. The younger these things get, the better. Because one of the things about Invaders J'ouvert, it maintains a tradition of original J'ouvert days where there's no brass band on the road, it's only Pan playing. And if again, I spoke about it maybe since Carnival time last year, and you watch it again this year, right? The level of involvement in youths in Pan is an impressive thing, because that's the only way things will continue to live on. And Pan is not without its issues, right? We have a Pan Trinbago headquarters opposite Trin City, they were what they call it, White Elephant, and then another $100 billion just as put in place for another steel band headquarters or Pan Trinbago headquarters. So it will always have its issues, but you see, once you're starting to put things in the hands of youths and youths getting involved in it, I always feel it's in a good place. So I have a little two tune to play, all in mind. Anytime I say Lord Blakey, I have to play Lord Blakey. And some of the names that here in the founding of the Invaders band, I have a tune with a verse with some of them names. So let me start with Steel Band Clash now by Lord Blakey.
Listen to me now. Neil, you ready for me, boy? Oh, Lord, hear me. Neil fixing me up here, you know. So me afraid that. Hey, boy, hear me now. It was a bacchanal. 1950 carnival, fight for show with Invaders and Tokyo. My friend run and left his hat when they hit him a baseball bat. Never me again. Jump in a steel band in Port of Spain. Hey! Well, you and I understand what you're doing, you know. Neil fix me up to study them. Hear me now. today dead, never me again. Jump in a ship and in Port of Spain. Well, let me hear me. Neil, you going outside? You're telling me, Neil, tell me something now. Well, the thing get hot. If you see men get caught. Lord Blakey running a house by a lady. Right on top the lady bed. They belt a bottle and bust me head. Never me again. Jump in a sea and in Port of Spain.
Run, brother. Yeah, anybody could tell me what Blakey was doing on top of woman bed? But still, man, belt bottle and bust head. We don't believe you. I have another tune here by the great King David Michael Rudder. When it comes to engine room. You remember I tell you about song before and after? Let me play the before first and I will get to the after. Maybe my favorite David Rudder tune of all time, right?
Get the tenors rolling, people on the floor. Hear the get up and grumble, and the crowd in an uproar. All of a sudden, everything just up and chill. Everything just gone to a standstill. The crowd start to cross together. We're wrong with the band. It was the rock with the iron gone on fall because the vibration bust with the welding. When the iron fall, it humbled the band, and everything start to crawl, everything start to fall, and the truth was plain. The engine room is down the way that's caused the back canal. The pan is the body, but the rhythm is harder the thing. The engine room, that is the solar carnival. Go read it, damn well say, if you iron good, you is king. You hear? Your grandmother talking to the neighbor next door. If the times didn't change up, or now we'd still be in big war. That is the same woman who put out your mother because she was in love with this band man. She used to open the church door just to pray on me head. Now she boasts into the neighbor next door. Oh, my granddaughter beats for a steel band. If it wasn't for you, girl, your daddy would have been so dread. But when you see her in the pain, I just have to think again and take it out on the scene. The engine room is done the way that ease my frustration. Nearly every old handman could tell you that his in-laws were outlaws. Yes, the engine room is the healing of the nation. Sometimes I just let lash at the bloody thing just because, you know. In the head, them scratchermen scratching. They have the drummer itching to be well bred. The cover man I close, the belting blows. I'm sorry for the drum skin. Me and all in backward. May I not by my ears. 2, 3 cowbell man, the bell in the hand and a tassa man pumping. Well, you can't ask for more. Well, maybe our next round of beers, and we could go all day as the band play and the people feel. Engine room, Lord, it could go on forever. See them jump and prance, give yourself a chance in the heat. Yes, engine room, it could never die, never. Because it's 9 months my mother made me check out she had beat. So I want a hard rhythm section, so I can prove up the nation. We gonna let them know they could never stop the drum. When people feeling the adoption and they show the reaction, don't give the rhythm has something to show them where they.
Your name call.
Give me sign. Korean my pan, make a best and snail. Somebody go and call Francis Wickham. Tell them we ready to wail. Bobby Muhammad with the bell, live or raising hell, the short rasta from Newtons. Them love the gallery, so I want them up on the ramp. Go down Clarence Street, get Pelham, Goddard, and then bring back Ken Jones. Them can't get away. Look, go and get them scamp. Cause when you see we get together, brother, it go be cactus and pepper. Down in the engine room, it's down there with us half the bacchanal.
I can tell you that is it, laws was outlaws. No, the engine room. That was before. You know the after?
When you ready, rhythm and the iron and the man where the Congo drum. In the engine room. There's a vibe in the session when we jam into the steel band. In the engine. Come on, join the line, grab your bottle and spoon. It's a party in the engine room. In the engine room we go jam it steady. In the engine room we go get on wassy. In the meantime, why don't you join the line, grab your bottle and spoon, and come let we party in the engine room. Ooh yeah. Well, how else we will survive if we don't create the vibes? This is a big part of our life, so soca must live and never die. In this party atmosphere, so sweet that I can't describe. So all the artists you must be here, cause without an engine, can't start, so we cannot dive. No oxygen tank, we can't dive, so we got to come together and try to find a way, find a way. No more fight out, we got to unify. Let them keep the money, we not taking back. They go come run with them when you see them. Get this song when you're ready. Ready when the iron and the man with the Congo jam. In the engine, it's a vibe in the session when we jam into the steel band. In the engine, come on, join the line, grab your bottle and spoon. It's a party in the engine room. In the engine room we go jam it steady. In the engine room we go get on massy. In the meantime, why don't you join the line, grab your bottle and spoon, and come let we party in the engine room. Hey, I'm telling you now, if we could just put aside we pride and let Jaja be we guide, then love will be the prize and no one will feel that type of way. Get to get radiator and battery, no transmission from the factory. You can do whatever you want, but without an engine, can't start, so we cannot drive. No oxygen tank, we got it free life, so we got to come together and try to find a way, find a way. No more fight down, we got a unify. Let them keep the money, we not taking back. They go come run with them when you see them. Get this song when you're ready. Rhythm and the iron and the man with the Congo jam. In the engine, it's a vibe in the center when we jam into the steel band. In the engine, come and join the line, grab your bottle and spoon. It's a party in the engine room.
In the engine room we go jam it steady. Which one better? Which one better, before or after? Let me tell you something, right? Engine room. This engine room, Olatunji engine room, although, I mean, David Rudder would be one of my favorites, right? But this engine room here is one of the greatest soca ever put together. It could play anywhere. Fet, lime, backyard jam, front yard jam. It could be a wedding. Anywhere you go with our engine room. It is one of the best kaiso, calypso, soca, whatever you want to call it, right? Anything you want to label it, that Olatunji is one of the best. And salute to Olatunji too, because Olatunji have a catalog that hard to touch. So if you didn't know, the engine room is what is called the rhythm section and pan side, right? And as we're doing a little bit of before and after, well, you want to hear our next song from deep in the heart of the engine room.
People talking about a ballad fella from South. He always swanky, nobody as swanky as he. Corey Fraser is the character, the iron beater from Huddersfield Orchestra. When he jam in iron, it's real confusion. He's the heaviest, grooviest, swanky, sweetest iron beater in the land. Talking about Iron Man, Corey sweeter than honey when the man jam iron. Woman does leave a man, Iron Man, Corey sweeter than honey licking king. He jamming, Them woman trembling. Iron man, Corey sweeter than honey. Dig him, dig him, dig him, dig him, dig him. On Carnival Day, all them girls going down Broadway. By Hatter Steel Band, they all gone off on Corey Iron. With looks of envy, men watching Corey. They say it too ugly to be so lucky. Some nice mama does dig the fella. If you see that female on the way, when Corey up sweet iron in his ear. Iron man, Corey sweeter than honey when the man jam iron. Woman does leave the man.
Iron man, Corey sweeter than when you look the pan. Woman must leave the man. Is it a before and after? Does it count as before and after when it's within the family? Or let her tell me, because when it's within the family, it mightn't really count. Does this count as a remake? Let me play a slice of it for you and you can tell me. What you prefer, before or after?
Iron man, oh he's sweeter than when he lick the pan. Chamayan, woman has leave the man. Iron man, oh he's sweeter than honey lick the pan. Chamayan, woman has leave the man. I bring it, 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 bring the iron love. I bring it, 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 bring the iron love.
Bring me all day. Well, like before, after I feel that one. Although I've been sticking with the modern day, right? I've been sticking with the after, but on that one, I feel I had to go with Shorty on that one, right? Shorty gonna be hard to go against. In the strangest of stories I've seen in a long time, right? All you gotta help me to understand this one, right? All you know, Lauren Lezama Lee Singh. I hear about this woman in so long, right? I didn't hear about it. So PNMites, if you know you're a PNMite and you have issues here about the PNM, now is a good time to change, right? And if you know you like the UNC, but tune in, you're going to like this part, right? Protection order granted against PNM Senator Lauren Lezama Lee Singh. Right? It's the strangest thing when she come out, you know, long me hear about this woman. This is from CNC3, right? They say today, Darren Lee Singh is offering no comment on a document in which he reportedly gained a restraining order against his wife, PNM Senator Lauren Lezama Lee Singh. Anybody have a number for Darren Lee Singh and find out who is garble again? The purported court document began circulating on social media yesterday. In it, the family court ruled in favor of Darren Lee Singh by granting an interim protection order against his wife. It said, with effect from September 19 and continuing until it's revoked, withdrawn, dismissed, or a final order is made, Lauren Lezama Lee Singh is not to engage or threaten or threaten to engage in the physical abuse of her husband by the use of her hands, fists, or any implement, or by throwing any missiles or any object at or towards her husband. I like that. The police, we cover all bases here. Lezama Lee Singh did not appear in the matter, nor was she represented by an attorney contacted in the matter today. Darren Lee Singh said he had no comment. Efforts to contact Lauren Lezama Lee Singh have proved futile this far. A story we're going to have to continue to cover. Darren Lee Singh, if you don't know, I believe is the son of the great Louis Lee Singh, right? And domestic abuse and domestic violence is never funny. never fun. No matter which direction it goes in, right? It's never funny, and it's something that we should always we should always take seriously. This is no laughing. Maybe the man having objects, fists, whatever it is thrown at him, this is something that we care. We are glad that the police giving it the seriousness that it deserves, and that he is feeling safe and protected. A part of me want to say that if I was to take a guess, if somebody show me pictures of people in a random lineup and they say which one of these women is be their man, and I see a picture of Lauren Lezama Lee Singh, this is not no laughing matter. These things is not no joke, you know what I mean? But I do. All I do is look through the papers and look through what happening now, and basically try to find ways that I could play calypso. I never want to get into man and woman business. Something I would like somebody to give me a contact for Lauren Lee Singh, because the way people getting on home here, I might need to figure out how to get this paragraph. I really like it. The paragraph saying, do not engage or threaten to engage in any physical abuse of me. You dig? Don't use your hands, your fists, which means your fists different from your hands. Don't use your hand or your fist or any kind of implement by throwing any kind of missile at me. Because I come here and simply defend as mankind. I came here last week and I simply defended Terrence because nobody was on Terrence's side. This is an entertainment podcast and thing, you know what I mean? This is not designed. This is not a documentary. This is not real life. This is for people to enjoy the week and the week go smooth. Look how you have a nice little short week. You get a holiday yesterday, podcast come out today. You're cruising. This is an easy week for you to get through. And because I defend Terrence, I am seeing inklings of engagement and threats of engagement of physical abuse and so on. And I just have a few Kaiso lineup to play that is in alignment with woman having it on man, you know what I mean? Because the abuse, when it comes to abuse, right? Physical abuse, again, no joke, right? And you see that a lot with man to woman in Trinidad. But what I feel for Lauren Lee Singh here, because the part that they leave out here, which is the more, I mean, depending on who he is or who is a woman, I mean, if it's Lauren Lezama Lee Singh, I can see why you could get physical. But if average woman and the average man, right? What you gonna do with your fist or your hand? You can't do me. Oh, how bad it could be. You ever see a woman throw something? Ask them to throw something for you to catch. Let them throw something valuable for you to catch. You see, they can't throw. So how they go hit you if they're going to throw something? But the part where Darren leave out here is the mouth part, the talking, the threaten to engage by talk and threaten to engage in abuse by talking to you rough or not talking to you or telling you a thing. And that is the part we have to have. So I have a few kaiso to play here for when the woman get the upper hand on you. Because the problem is usually that you just feel you had the upper hand on them, and you ain't know it's the lower hand you have.
Why is me? A shame and scandal in the family. Why is me? A shame and scandal in the family.
In Puerto Rico, they are worse family. With more confusion, take it from me. There was a mama and a papa with one child alone, who wanted to be married and have a wife of his own. So he went to the papa. The papa said, no, that girl is your sister, but your mama don't know.
Why is me? A shame and scandal in the family. Why is me? A shame and scandal in the family.
Continue searching the rest of his life because he really needed a wife. He met a wonderful girl with lovely figure. but afraid to consult his dear father. He met a lovely darky which was twice as nice. He fly to the papa to get his advice. When the papa see the girl, he shout, oh no, that girl is your sister, but your mama don't know.
Wow, 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 why is me? A shame and scandal in the family. Wow, 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 why is me? A shame and scandal in the family.
The mama shook she head when she found out what her husband had said. So she paused for a moment undecidedly. This time the boy waiting patiently. Then the mama she laughed and said, go, man, go. Your daddy and your daddy, but your daddy don't know. I tell you.
Wow, 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 why is me?
Wow, wow, wow.
A shame and scandal in the family. Wow, 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 why is me?
Shame and scandal in the family. You see the problem in life as a man? Sometimes you feel you're giving a Terrence, but it's really a Terrence you're getting. It's just how it is going. It's just how it is going. It's nearly impossible to have the upper hand on them, right? But one of my favorite upper hand tune. And I don't think it might be the first time I play this artist on this podcast. 196 episodes in. Although he's a bad Calypsonian. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Tell me if you know the voice. Now, one of the most distinctive voices in Calypso, you know it?
Big Betty say, next week Sunday, he christening, he boy said when, he wife tell me, quite secretly, don't let it known, but the child in his home. Come listen to this secret, don't let she husband hear it. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. Louisa make a baby, it's for the neighbor Harry. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. She has she's stupid husband planning big celebration. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. The man is such a monkey, say the child resemble him. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. Color TV, she want from him. He tell she no, he ain't got no. Send she next door to see color, and that is how we have been big bet now. Come listen to this secret, don't let she husband hear it. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. Louisa make a baby, it's for the neighbor Harry. Don't tell her so, don't tell her. She have she's stupid husband planning big celebration. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. The man is such a monkey, say the child resemble him. Don't tell her so, don't tell her so. and tie, ice cream and cake. He want chili, whiskey and stout. He rent put out, so keep it quiet. If you don't want riot, come listen to this secret. Don't let she husband hear it. Don't tell us so, don't tell us so. Louisa make a baby, it's for the neighbor Harry. Don't tell us so, don't tell us so. She have she's stupid, husband planning big celebration. Don't tell us so, don't tell us so. The man is such a monkey, say the child resemble him. Don't tell us so, don't tell us so. Don't tell us so, don't tell us so.
1,000 bottles of lube? I avoided for as long as I could avoid it, right? But 1,000 bottle of baby oil. I mean, how long a bottle of baby oil is last you? How long a bottle of baby oil is last year? Like anybody have baby oil? It's a people who done past baby making age who still had the bottle of baby oil from when the baby was a baby. 1,000. Who you going to buy baby oil by the case? It's a rough. Man, say if you're in your arsenal, right? If you're stable, when you call people over by you, it's like people like TD Jakes and Carl Winslow and so on. There's a lot of baby oil. There's a lot of baby oil. It ain't so easy. So big story, and I reading something this morning that's saying that this is Dr. Umar, right? If you know Dr. Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson basically saying, here was he saying? He say, the only reason this Diddy thing becoming an issue is because it's election time and they're trying to distract we from something. According to Dr. Umar, what Diddy did is not very different from what Hugh Hefner did, right? And Hugh Hefner died. There was a little bit of talk about Hugh Hefner and his baby oil ways when he had passed away. But I'll tell you that the general sentiment about Hugh Hefner was a man who was represented to the public as a pioneer, an entrepreneur, somebody who creates so much avenues for so much women, who creates a lot of avenues for a lot of young boys to go in the father thing and pull out a little magazine too, you know what I mean? But in the early days, you could get something. But Dr. Umar's point is that them men and them like their freak off, and the wealthy of society tend to like little freak off behind closed doors. And baby oil go hard to use, you know what I mean? Mankind tired. Men need uppers, downers, and lubricators, you know what I mean? It's just part of the game. So, Dr. Umar might be onto something. I think like I see in both sides of the story here, right? Because when I see the video where Diddy kick Cassie with all his might, with all his strength, everything he have in him, that man like go kick behind that girl. Then this is something wrong with this guy. Of course, I am one of those who don't believe people should be in jail, but wherever is the alternative to jail, that is where Diddy belong. He's something wrong with this man. The charges that brought against him has been a long time, and I see him hanging around, and you see him with Stevie J. I mean, that must be about a half case of baby oil by itself. They see him around, and it wasn't looking like he was in hiding or he was looking to run, but the feds came down on him early last week. And he has been in police custody since, refused bail twice. And I think Diddy going down. I think Diddy going down. People comparing it to like Cosby or any great black person who would achieve a lot, especially the capitalist version of achieve, right? You build big business, you had good money, you buy out this catalog, you want to buy this network and so on, or you want to get media influence. You know, they have certain businesses that seem to be out of bounds for black individuals. You know, you can't build no media conglomerate like he was trying to do with Revolt and thing. The tendency is to silence individuals like these, right? No, I remember one of the things I had read about Martin Luther King was that, like Terrence, he had his Coretta, you know what I mean? He had his Coretta, but he'd be like a little bird, you know what I mean? He's a man on tour for a long time. All that marching on these things not easy. You feel it easy to march and turn the other cheek, and you know, all them say, this is not easy things to do. So sometimes you just need a little comfort when you're on the road, right? They call them comfort girls. They say he did like a little comfort girl, right? And one of the CIA efforts documented, right, to bring down Martin Luther King was to send comfort girls of the Caucasian persuasion, you know, the white girls, bunny hoppers according to snow bunnies according to Dr. Umar. They said they sent a woman by him, and that was part of the thing to break him down, to break up the household, break up the marriage, break up the image people have of him by showing that he was the white devil, you know what I mean? All them kind of thing that they say was done to bring him down. And I guess after his passing, his legacy stands well. Yeah, but you know, Martin Luther King Day. You remember well, history has treated Martin Luther King well, but there's a tendency, and history might treat Bill Cosby well. I'm not saying that more one man do wrong, right? The point I'm making is that when these men dead and gone, you might find that there's a turn of the tides where we look back at him fondly and we look at the Cosby Show again. Even R. Kelly, who seemed to have done this. I was watching R. Kelly and Gayle King there. Boy. When you see R. Kelly and it was hard to watch, you know, because you see that he going to jail. The walls start to crumble around him. And I fear that we will see the same thing with Diddy soon, where when you're so wealthy and so powerful and you're so insulated from the rest of life, right? You could see how it would be easy to lose sight of the fact that you are part of the real world. Everybody around you is there for you. Everybody is paid by you or taken care of by you, or the family or the household, the car, the drive, all of that is taken care of by you. So they protect you and they insulate you. So you might know what the real world is about. I remember in Making the Band, Diddy had get vexed with some fellas where they came the morning. No, it wasn't Making the Band. Making the Band was where you make them work for the cheesecake, right? There was a show where he was trying to pick a personal assistant. I wonder if people remember that. And so everybody hustling, and Fonzo Bentley, who was his personal or his butler at the time, was part of the show. And one of the things I always remember is a guy who hustling, you know, he trying to look good. Did he now wake up, he come out on the couch and he handed Diddy papers. And Diddy was like, "What's this?" He said, "Well, I just thought you would get a paper to you in the morning." He thinking he's doing something good. And he's like, "Boy, you handed me a papers to read. You need to get me what I need to know. You want me to go through these papers to know what I'm supposed to know today? So I want you to basically cut out the articles or tell me exactly what's the main things you need me to know today." And I always found that instructive. You know, the life of a billionaire or of a very powerful person, and all the decisions you make are consequential for so many people and so many institutions and organizations that your focus is on not cluttering your mind, and you gotta get rid of the inconsequential decisions. I read about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett and how routine their lives are. Like Steve Jobs was wearing the same black turtleneck and jeans and New Balance every single day. And a lot of people, if you read books about people who are highly organized, or a lot of people depend on them, or very powerful people, a lot of times one of the things they eliminate is the having to figure out what to wear every day. They say it's one less thing to think about. They just basically wear the same thing all the time, and it doesn't matter. And I mean, to me and you, I like to look good on them, although I wear the same thing every day, different versions of it. But the men want to make sure that as much of their brain power as possible could be dedicated to the very consequential decisions that they make on a day-to-day basis. And you could see that with Diddy. So when you surround yourself with people to help you do that, and they giving you the news, they giving you what the public reaction is to everything, they on tippy toes around you because they can't tell you certain things, or they can't tell you you're wrong. Or I saw his apology video that was on Instagram for the longest while. That thing looks so bad. He should have taken that on a long time. But you could clearly see it's almost like a man who put in a position to apologize for the first time. And maybe since he was a child, he never had to apologize for anything. He almost didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to look contrite or be sorry or be regretful or remorseful or any of that. He just looked like it's another day. And when I saw R. Kelly reaction in that interview, the way he was crying, he couldn't sit still. He was standing up every time. She keep telling him, "Hey, sit down." You know what I mean? I feel like that starts to happen when the walls fall around you. In other words, all the people who was insulating you disappear, which I'm starting to see happen with Diddy now. I listen to Joe Budden every week, and I listened to Joe Budden when he was singing the praises of Diddy as a great mogul and entrepreneur. And I listen now to the point where he basically saying, Diddy is a POS, right? Piece of shit. And it's shocking sometimes to hear how people tune change. But I suppose, in fairness to Joe Budden or any of the other people around him, when you really find out the substance of a man, you could distance yourself from him quickly. But imagine when you had that kind of reverence and love all around there, especially in your closer circles, and then them people start to disappear. And now, for the first time in 30-something years, you have to face the public as a man, and the mirror is held up to you, and you see what you're doing. I feel like that is a space Diddy in. But the wider conversation around what Dr. Umar is suggesting is like, is this conspiracy theory real? Is it a conspiracy theory at all? Where once you're black and you reach a certain height of success, the Caucasian persuasion, the white woman, whatever your version of it, whatever your weakness is, will be sent, and you know what I mean? We put it around you so that like any other human being, you will do wrong things, right? Let we not fool ourselves into thinking that if me or you was an extremely, let me put it this way, we not extremely powerful and we don't have $1 billion and we do good or wrong things too. Whatever your version of wrong is, right? Imagine if you have that kind of access and power around here and you start to live in a world where there are no consequences for your actions. Because if I bad spend money, I go feel it when it's coming close to month and all like now, so right? You know, we have consequences for our action, but imagine a world where you have no consequences. The camel and the needle lighting, right? Remember that? It's tough. So if you put the right stimuli around somebody who have no consequences, maybe any human will do some of the things, and I'm not excusing it, but maybe any human will find themselves where there's violence or the hypersexual thing or whatever that vice is, and they find the right one or the drugs or whatever. They could put you in this situation and then at least have enough information to bring you down when necessary. But I mean, if a man leave mansions full of recordings with people and them kind of thing, it's like you keep the information for them to bring it down. Or there's some rumor or school of thought that he keep the tapes because if you have too much information on too much people, then who could bring you down? Who could sell you out? Hence the reason people saying they raid the thing before they arrest him to make sure they have all his information up front so he can't go and release nothing. But and that you think of how powerful that is. So I even see in an article on Forbes here saying Sean Diddy Combs may have firebomb Kid Cudi's car according to charges. So more charges brought saying that he and Kid Cudi's a younger rapper, right? They say they fall out and they had their thing and he decided he gonna set the man car on fire and boast about setting his car on fire as well. I believe when he was playing, there was one Halloween where he was playing Diddy, where he rolled up on an actor. It wasn't Michael B. Jordan, one of them fellas, and he rolled up on the man, and like it's almost like, you know, the rumors are wrong there about Diddy being violent, and the Cassie video kind of confirms, or not kind of, the Cassie video confirms that for us. So it's one that we had to continue to watch, but I'll say that I take no joy in seeing people publicly humiliated like that, and the idea behind the public ridicule seems to. There's a definite one-sidedness to it in the States because there's almost a shoo thing going on around what happened with Harvey Weinstein and Maxine Guillaume or whatever the woman's name is and so on. Is it Woody Allen is the one who they say marry a little girl and go on and live abroad? Like there seems to be that different races could get away with some of these things. Not saying that anybody should get away with it, but it seems to be that the black man is the one who's going to be ridiculed publicly. I always remember Cersei from Game of Thrones. Was it Cersei? Was the wife named Stacey? I know I'm saying this wrong, right? But when they had this walk of shame where she had to walk naked through the streets, I feel like if that is our portion, that is what we end up getting when we walk down the wrong road. But thoughts and prayers to everybody involved. I mean, we had to continue to watch what it is, and they say he on suicide watch as well, and I'll say that no matter what he's done or what, guilty or not, apart from I don't like the idea of being in jail, but I would be deeply hurt if I was to hear that Diddy was to commit suicide in jail. I don't want to put that out there, but just imagine how you would feel if you hear that tomorrow, regardless of what he's done. That's not going to be a good feeling for our community, right? Totally unrelated story, right? Totally unrelated to that. It had to segue out of topics like that, but as the man used to call himself Brother Love, we talk about Rowley and creating a culture of love now, you know what I mean? Rowley, ahead of Republic Day, says create a culture of love. In a message marking the 40th anniversary of Trinidad and Tobago Republic, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley urged citizens to reflect on the nation's achievements while confronting the challenges ahead. He praised the country's progress on the world stage, but also acknowledged the troubling rise in crime, as per direct message from Terrence Singh. Quoted here saying, "We stand proudly as a nation firmly established and respected globally," Rowley declared. He reflected on the transformation TNT has undergone since becoming a republic in 1976, stating the generation that had witnessed this moment will attest to the fast-paced, radical, and complex changes we've experienced since. Rowley highlighted the country's role in global diplomacy, pointing to Trinidad and Tobago's recent presidency of the United Nations General Assembly as a testament to its strength. He specifically recognized Ambassador Dennis Francis for representing the country's interests, stating his diplomatic skills carried the reputation and ambitions of this young nation on its shoulders. The Prime Minister celebrated the country's many contributions to the world, from the industrial success of Point Lisas to the invention of the steel pan. He paid tribute to national heroes across sports, culture, and science, including Hazley Crawford, Keshawn Walcott, Brian Lara, and Beryl McBurney. Our impact on the world stage can be described as phenomenal. Despite the many accomplishments, Rowley did not shy away from the country's current struggles, particularly the rise in violent crime. He noted that a significant portion of the national budget is allocated to fighting crime and called on citizens to support law enforcement. The police service must be more inventive and forceful in its response to crime. In a personal appeal, Prime Minister encouraged parents and guardians to foster love and responsibility within their homes. Create a warm culture of love. Let your children take that love into their schools and let it transform our communities, he urged. Rowley closed his message by calling on citizens to appreciate the natural beauty of Trinidad and Tobago and to take pride in the country's accomplishments. Let us explore, enhance, and enjoy the wonders of our land, he said, adding, "Let us all salute our republic. Happy Republic Day," he concluded, offering greetings on behalf of the government and his family. I just wanted to be known, right, that I really just read the article and I had to find some kind of way in this episode to bring the PNMites back into the fray. You know what I mean? I call it the PNM faithful stray too far away. But again, I like the message. I like the message of bringing back love in the home. I always, it doesn't always sit right with me when I read somebody boasting or talking about or using the justification that plenty budget going towards national security as a means of saying that will lead to a better crime situation. I think what we need to start to do is put plenty budget behind sports and culture and some things that gives youth alternatives. But I like the idea of bringing back love in the household and love in the community and love in the country.
Now the election back and I'll die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget spites and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now more than ever we must show strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
I encourage any prime minister or future prime minister of this country, when it comes to addressing people on independence or republic, they just play that. Nobody to write no speech and all that kind of thing. Forget it. Just play that, right? As I'm reading this and I'm going through this, I'm now seeing here where Rhoda Barrett done receive a reaction protocol thing telling about she posting Lauren Lee Lezama and them kind of things. So whatever I say about that, I didn't mean that, right? I was talking about fictional characters, right? On to serious matters. Winifred Atwell's relative welcome Queen's Hall honor. It's been a long time coming. So as we continue to shed our colonial past, at least on paper and by name and by signage and so on, if you didn't know, government approval of the auditorium of Queen's Hall being named after pianist Winifred Atwell has been met with pride by relatives who believe that given Atwell's contribution to the musical landscape, this should have happened sooner. Naming ceremony will take place at Queen's Hall. Well, it took place at Queen's Hall on September 23rd, followed by a concert, Ivory and Steel, that will feature classic music from Atwell's album of the same name with a Trini flavor. I think it's wonderful that she's being recognized in this way. Atwell's cousin Helen Atwell told Newsday in a phone interview. She has put Trinidad and Tobago in the map in so many positive ways. It's good when we can appreciate our talent and start recognizing our icons and sons and daughters of the soil. I agree. I was a child when Winnie would visit, and I remember Grandpa throwing parties for her at his home in Jubilee Street, Tunapuna. We were always in such awe because she was so fancy. I remember her dancing with Grandpa. Nicole Charles, who lives in the UK, told Newsday, Winnie was my late grandmother's sister. Her being honored like this has been a long time coming. Winnie's music is adored by Australians, so much so that Australian piano teacher and psychologist Harold Hanlon started an online fan page over 12 years ago. It features all Atwell's music. I met her when I was 23. Hanlon told Newsday in a phone interview she was deciding to return to Trinidad after her husband died. I wrote to her and asked her to meet her before she left, and she invited me and my parents to her home and allowed me to play her grand piano in her presence. Then she asked me to play some classical pieces and gave me an autographed photo of herself. I had a camera with me and I took a photo of her, but I was so starstruck I wasn't even able to ask her if I could. Hanlon said his parents were big fans of Atwell and his mother was overwhelmed because there were not many celebrities who would invite fans to their homes. My parents told me about one of her concerts they attended, and there were encores after encores. So encore for that, right? For Winifred Atwell, famed Trinidadian pianist, right? A name that if you're like me, you might have never heard about before until this discussion started around Queen's Hall. So it's something that you know me well enough to know I feel good about this, right? More praise for this. From the news by Richard Khan, Elton John congratulates Trinidad and Tobago for Winifred Atwell's Queen's Hall honor. What about Elton John? What about he? Long time I hear about him. Five-time Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter and pianist Elton John has congratulated Trinidad and Tobago for renaming Queen's Hall Auditorium to honor a Trini-born pianist whom he credits as his first idol. In a video message played at the renaming ceremony on September 23rd, John said, "Winifred Atwell gave me the momentum to become who I am. Congratulations to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago on renaming the Queen's Hall Auditorium to the Winifred Atwell Auditorium. Well deserved, and thank you so much." John said his family bought a lot of Atwell's album when he was a little boy, learning to play the piano. The turning point for me with Winifred Atwell was seeing her on television, seeing how beautiful she was, her smile, the way she played the piano. She could do classical things, she could do great boogie-woogie stuff. I was entranced by her. She fascinates me and I fell in love with her. I fell in love with her kindness. She had an aura of kindness and talent, and her smile, I copied that smile. I idolized her. She was literally my first idol as a piano player, and it's never left me really. She's always in my heart. John has never been one to hide the instrumental role that Atwell had on him and his regard for her. It was even included in his 2019 autobiography, Me. In it, he described her as a big, immensely jolly Trinidadian lady who performed on stage with two pianos. I loved her sense of glee, the slightly camp way she would announce, "And now I'm going to my other piano." The way she would lean back and look at the audience with a huge grin on her face while she was playing, like she was having the best time in the world. In his video message, John added that he was able to meet her at an airport after he had made it big in show business. She came over to me, we gave each other the biggest hug, and she bought me a koala bear, which I thought was so sweet. So I did meet my idol. The name change was approved by the government on August 22nd. Atwell was born in 1915 and raised in Tunapuna. She moved to New York after World War II, then to England in 1946. She was highly popular in Britain and Australia from the 1950s with a series of boogie-woogie and ragtime hits, selling over 20 million records. She was the first black artist to have a #1 hit in the UK singles chart, and as 2023 was the only female instrumentalist to do so. In 1969, she was awarded the Hummingbird Medal Gold for her contribution to world music. Salute to Winifred Atwell. Salute to whoever organized this ceremony too, that had the wherewithal to contact Elton John to get a video message done. That's huge. And salute to Elton John for actually doing it. You know what I mean? I would assume that at this age and stage with Elton John, it would take somebody who he genuinely loves and idolizes for him to go and do a video message. So salute to that. We live and learn, right? And then people just want to tell me, the Pereiras and them of this world is want to tell me, well, why we have to remove and lose our history and them kind of thing. They're concerned about the history we're losing where the Queen is concerned. Why we have to but they're not concerned about the fact that things like this are buried. And somebody like me who spent the better part of my life in school hearing about Winifred Atwell for the first time. Let me sort of consider them things too. Let me at minimum try to consider both. We're talking Hummingbird Medal, right? And yesterday would have been the day where they give out prizes and so on, awards. You can't say prizes, awards. Yeah, awards to the people. So salute to all the awardees who collect their awards and so on yesterday. I went to the Guardian, my Akash Samaru, because we see some ex-police commissioners, right? Ex-police commissioners receiving national awards. At first glance, I'm thinking, with crime being the biggest problem we've had for the last 4 decades, it had to be a real commissioner that given national award, because clearly any commissioner we had in my lifetime, it probably didn't deserve no national award based on the biggest national problem that we have. And that man was in charge of the police at the time. But I will say that when I saw the comments, a lot of people, maybe people in the service and people in the force and so on, were talking about these gentlemen in glowing terms. It's the same thing I'm talking about Diddy, you know. Sometimes you had to step aside, sometimes even die, like you had to pass away sometimes for your legacy to be so great, you know. Think of the people who have the biggest legacy in the world, like the greatest, people only have positives to say about them. Like when you look at the way people revere Bob Marley, even in the way he had multiple children and women all about and things like Terrence, they say they still say the best about Bob Marley. Even in the Bob Marley documentary, the woman and them laughing now. They say, well, Bob was a very good-looking man. Yeah, I knew you have a lot of girls. And, yeah, Damien Jr. Gong mother talking about, I know he was married. I know he was married at the time. The key is to get out of here early in life, because you're either going to stay around, you're just going to become villainized as you stay around longer and longer. But let me read from here. Former acting police commissioner James Filbert and Stephen Williams have hit back at Gary Griffith, who claimed their national awards were because of political favoritism. So Stephen Williams and James Filbert were the ones who received national awards, and Gary is upset. But Gary's an upset kind of guy. I haven't seen Gary happy in a long time. Since England win a game or score a goal and Gary jump in that pool, I didn't see Gary. Gary is not the happiest kind of fella. You're always upset at something. Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and Welfare Association also believes Gary Griffith's comments were in poor taste. Gary, who himself is a past head of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, had no congratulatory words for neither Stephen Williams nor James Filbert, who yesterday received the Shakonia Medal Silver for their contributions to national security. Instead, Griffith said, the political selection of national awards has now diluted their significance and made a mockery of these once prestigious positions. In a media release, Griffith questioned what record of success they had to justify these awards. These awards appear to have been granted based solely on the fact that they held the post, albeit in an acting capacity, and they might be the recipients of political favoritism. There seems to be no evidence of tangible achievements or performance metrics that could warrant such national recognition. Gary, of course, have that, because Gary could boast that between 2021 and 2023, the murder rate was at the lowest in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, when everybody was locked down at home and nobody can murder nobody. Griffith added that it was also an insult to the over 30 police officers who lost their lives during the COVID-19 pandemic and the thousands of others who conducted their duties with what he called utmost professionalism during the global crisis. I have no idea what that statement means. What is the relation between those two things, Gar? I'm confused. The former commissioner said it warrants a reassessment of how these awards are handed out. But this did not sit well with former acting commissioner James Filbert. I expect that to be the case. Initially reluctant to respond to Griffith, Filbert admitted that the allegations put a damper on a day of celebration for him and his family. He said, what I know about the police service is commissioners of police do not jump and bite up on the commissioner's back, all right? This is a strange conduct for someone who was also a commissioner. What will he gain by this? I have been in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service since 1967. I've never seen a past police commissioner in the media bad talking other commissioners. Well, one, maybe that's true. Two, maybe that needs to start for we to shape up a little bit. Filbert added that Griffith does not know anything about his 43 years in the Trinidad. That's fair. Because I suppose my initial thing is like, what you getting them thing for if they was commissioner of police under the highest crime it had in Trinidad? But I suppose, and in fairness to them, the only part of their career was not as commissioner. They would have spent a lot longer in the TTPS contributing and then rise to the level of commissioner. So, okay, I get you, Filbert. This is a strange and distasteful thing from Mr. Griffith. If I stand up and do nothing for 15 years, Mr. Griffith wouldn't pass what I did. I don't know what that means. Filbert also rubbished allegations of political connections. I don't have anyone to give me a political favor. I don't know who recommend me. I did not ask anyone to give me anything. I am going to receive it with honor because that is what my country appreciates. That is what my country appreciates me for. Okay. Let him say what he wants. Let him enjoy himself. I'm going to avoid unnecessary bacchanal. Meanwhile, former acting commissioner Stephen Williams sought to point out what he described as the hypocrisy behind Griffith's criticism. He said when Griffith applied for the position of commissioner, his CV boasted of spearheaded the Ministry of National Security at a time when Trinidad and Tobago recorded the lowest number of crimes in 31 years. When he published his achievements in 2014 in relation to success and crime reduction, who was the sitting commissioner? Well, shots fired. There's not shots with the shots. Yeah, this one means a press. Shots fired. The man say you went and boast when he was applying. You went and boast and talk about how you did. I was Minister of National Security. Crime was the lowest. You know what I mean? And that guy had the work. And Stephen Williams say, I was the commissioner of police when you get your work. So he was boasting about my work. He said he is taking things which he did not do and bigging up himself and crying down somebody who crying down somebody as not doing with the same information. Congratulations to all the fellas on all the awards, boy. Don't study Gary. Don't study nobody else. When you get them kind of things happening to you and for you, right? Don't study nobody. Just accept your award and enjoy the award. Don't even study me when I come to say thing about it. Because again, I was really thinking of it as their time as police commissioner, and it's an odd thing to see, but I encourage you to go and read the recipients of several awards. What you will see is that once you reach police commissioner, you're likely to get a national award at some point in time. Once you reach prime minister, president, chief justice, once you achieve some of these positions within whether it's the political directorate, governance, police, or public service, it's likely that your name will come up for a national award. So despite everything I want to say bad about this was, congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. When people in the position, we go get them pressure and thing, yeah, but when man retire and thing, let the men get their accolades and them kind of thing in peace now, man. Don't make it into something that we had to be sour about, right? Salute to them and congrats to them. Before I get out of here, I do want to talk a little bit. I've been talking about Roy Cape for the last few episodes well. And because of the man he is, that may never die down. I see a headline here by Gregory McBurney from the news. They're saying Marshall calls for support for Roy Cape's foundation to honor his legacy. Soca star Marshall Montano says there needs to be more support for the Roy Cape Foundation as he believes this is the best way to memorialize the legendary musician and band leader. He made the suggestions while speaking with Newsday after Cape's funeral at the National Academy for Performing Arts. Cape, 82, who died on September 5th after suffering a stroke this morning, was celebrated for his profound influence on Trinidad and Tobago music scene. So, I think this is an important call. Let me just go back to where Marshall words were. Montano, the reigning Calypso monarch, recalling his first meeting with Roy Cape at the age of 9, described him as a one-of-a-kind man who did a lot for young musicians. He suggested Cape had already memorialized his own legacy through the Roy Cape Foundation and said what is needed now is greater support for it. The foundation is bringing music and various instruments to young underprivileged children and communities, and I think we need to help support that mission. Every child must have an instrument. Every child must touch music. I feel like we should all support his dream. He started it and left it there for us to pick up in his name, and it will be a wonderful blessing. Cape's legacy of excellence and commitment to the development of local music resonated throughout the ceremony as tribute performances from his mentees lifted the crowd from their chairs with applause. I want to say something, right? Beyond, and I agree 100% with Marshall's call for support for the Roy Cape Foundation. So we will be doing our part to get more information about the Roy Cape Foundation and see what there is that we could support and publicize that information. But as I was looking through the funeral, and you always have the performances in tribute when people in the culture pass away, right? I just want to take a moment to recognize Destra Garcia, right? Destra is on the next level. She quickly becoming the funeral singer, right? Like not to minimize anything she's done before, but in St. James, right, where I grew up in St. James, right? Once he's a foundation St. James person, Tom go sing in your funeral, right? Excuse me for a minute, right? This is just for this is an inside thing for St. James people. If you're born and grown in St. James, right, Tom is going to come and sing in your funeral. You're going to sing a song by the very man we're going to talk about in this episode. We spoke about it in Elton John, right? I'm telling you, when my time comes, if Tom's still around, Tom is going to come at the funeral when you're going and bury. Whether you're going to bury or you're going in the crematorium or you're going to the creek, right? Tom going to come in your funeral. You could be Muslim, Hindu, Christian, or whatever. Tom going to climb up on a height on the mausoleum, in the cemetery, wherever you're going, Mokarapo, wherever you be. And Tom is going to say, goodbye, Trini Rose. Like a candle in the wind. I guarantee you that the guaranteed money. Anybody in St. James pass away, Tom will sing in your funeral. Don't take Tom singing in your funeral as anything to do with what you and Tom had going on. And don't baby oil out the thing, right? Just know. If you're from St. James and you're wrong, Tom go sing, right? I'll even only with this, I'll even only with this in this episode because in echoing the sentiments of Dr. Rowley calling for love in the households. I like the idea. I like the idea. They don't tell me it's a PNM already. You know what I mean? I like the idea of the call. Whatever. There's not much more you could do in a society where it's not looking like we're in fully in control of all the things that happen in society, especially if you use the crime rate to judge it, right? It's so hard to say that we happy here and we live in, but I think Independence and Republic Day tend to give us the opportunity to reflect on who we are as a nation, and we must also take that time to look forward to what we want as a nation. I know it's easy to come here and say the sing and them fellas and them and all this kind of thing, and they don't want crime, and I just do it myself, and I spend enough time, 196 episodes. Ask me how much of them are coming and complain about the government when it comes to crime and what they're doing about crime and the systems and the policy and all those types of things, right? But if I had an independence message for people or a republic message for people, I think the most important thing for us to do as a society and for us to never stop doing is to look within. I really like Kurt Allen had such a powerful calypso this year. Where the song is First Investigation. I know they couldn't beat Marshall, and I mean, even if they had beat Marshall, they wasn't beating Karina Shea, right? But that First Investigation is such an important song where the first duty, it's like to our children, because these fellas and them who would see a minister and go and rob a beera or run in somebody's house or take somebody's money or make deal with people in the bank to know when you withdraw money and come and rob. They are us. They are of our society. They're not anything different from us. We have this separatist mentality, all of us, where the best way to deal with crime is to separate ourselves from what we deem to be high crime areas. And so the first thing we do when we get a little bit of money is buy a car where it's quieter on the inside, go and live in a different area. Nothing is wrong with those things, right? But my personal security and the security of my family and my responsibility, so I had to do what I had to do. But a part of the love that we had to show had to start within the household. These children grew up in households just like me and you. They grew up in communities. They was in the church. They was in the sports group. They was in Isla Best Village and Better Village and them kind of thing. They was in the, whatever the community used to build. There was any businesses. If you live in St. James as a youth, you work in Dennis and them bar when Dennis' father had the bar. You work by Smokey and Bunty and them, or you work by the electrical shop by Miss Barbara and them. You do a little work by Larry who used to fix TV. The community is who's raised you. So that song, that Calypso First Investigation is an important one for what we want as a nation going forward. Because if we want betterment as a nation, we don't see already, no pun intended, you can't depend on the Alsing or Rowley or any of the other people who are going to come and take those positions. And when they come in for the position, which is going to happen next year, them fellas go claim all kind of things that they could solve this. They can't solve anything. The things have to be, we living in too remedial a society. We trying to fix things what done unfixed and mash up already. When we have the opportunity to bend the stem when it's young, you know what I mean? We're not paying enough attention to what happening in our households, our communities, our churches, our music groups, our little relationships around. We're not paying enough attention to them. We're letting the households run loose, the communities run loose and so on. And then 10 years down the road, we're shocked that they have a high crime rate, and we're shocked at it, you know, and then we're trying to scramble by putting as much money into national security as possible. We have a budget to read next week, you know. And in this budget, when I come back here next week, I will be talking about the fact that the National Ministry of National Security get the most money. Again, it must have happened for the last 20-something years. That will not change. So we have a backward-looking, remedial way of looking at development and what a society should be. So I'm playing this song and I'm leaving you with this episode to encourage you to fix what we could fix what's right in front of us. This is a big part of what we're dealing with today. This ain't gonna fix now. The pride we feel as Trinis when we do the parade, and then we come down Traggery Road and water fire truck spray some people. We still have a lot of national pride. The little bit of pride we feel when we can't win a football match again. We can't win, you know what I mean? We can't win the cricket night. Salute to Dwayne Bravo. Salute to everything, and thank you for everything you have done for us a West Indies cricketers, a Trinidad and Tobago cricketer, Red Steel, Red Force, and TKR. Thank you for everything they have done for us. But as we look at the things that bring us pride and joy as a society, we must remember that those things also came from us, just like how the crime come from us. So if it is we want the thing fixed, the first place we have to look in is inside.
Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people just talk it bad. But I know all of them we running them out. Don't know where they're talking about. They would paint your black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like our sportsmen being rated among the best. Our scholars up sit and passed every test, and put us right alongside the rest. But then our pitch lake is the greatest one of its kind. Our sugar and oil is really refined. So you see, friends, this is a real piece of no man's mind. They just talk some nonsense. Me ain't know where they're doing it for. About so much violence, man, you would swear that we fighting war. Of course, we have we delinquents to face, but just like any other place, look, things that I say about here is really too much for me to bear. Because my people are daily making progress without any form of stupidness, and in this way we must gain success. For when we move in, we all move as one body. No bickering between you and me. For our policy stands for racial equality. Now when a stranger spending a little time in this lovely isle, every day you see him, he always have a hearty smile. When his time is up to depart, he would say with pride in heart, I'll be back, you could bet your life. And if I can't come, I will send my wife. And then he'll tell you he really wants her to come to drink some rum and have plenty fun in this great island in the sun. For Trinidadian, as foreigners do we call, it doesn't matter whether big or small, or if you're rich or poor, friends, we cater for one and all. So all of them were talking, they either drunk or they steering mad, or maybe they forgetting Mr. Universe belongs to Trinidad. And yet we have men of talent and skill, with high hopes of improving still. And if you think all this is a lie, the mighty sniper won't tell you why. Now our steel band is the best talent in this world. Like calypsos or stories are told, which is written to touch your soul. So Trinidad, this lovely land of my book, small but overwhelming in work. And as you know, Carnival is the greatest frolic on earth.